Is that okay with everybody? Yeah, okay, brilliant. We'll give that a go. I apologise, I can only speak one language. I will try to speak clearly and slowly. Hopefully that helps. If I do make any mistakes, please bear with me, but I will try my very best. And we'll mention above. So if there's anyone up there, wave and smile. If they wave back, it is said to bring good luck. There we go. There we go. Nice people up there today. By them waving, it also stops them throwing things at us. Okay? So wave and smile, hope for the best. If they don't wave back, don't worry, it just means that they're from London. This bridge was built by the women of London during World War II when the men were away fighting. It is the longest bridge in London at 1/4 of a mile. So well done to miles ahead of us. The tide in London rises for 5 hours, and when it reaches high water, often referred to as being the River Thames's very own tunnel of love. And it's said if you turn to your loved one as we go through, give them a kiss, and it will bring you many years of happiness. Not much action going on. If you're not with your loved one, you can kiss your husband once, but here I am. No. Any single men, the captain is very open-minded, okay? Go and see him. If there's any fans of mine, you can go to the top. The views are as good as the London Eye. But just bear in mind, to reach the top of that building, there is no lift inside. To reach the top, you a replica to the Globe Theatre. Opened in 1997, and in the Globe they reenact Shakespeare's plays. That is the only building in London that has been allowed to be made from timber and thatch since the Great Fire of London back in 1666. They had to change an Act of Parliament. They had to change the law to rebuild the Globe Theatre. Now, if you was interested, now I think £5 to go and watch a live show in London, you can go to the top. The views are as good as the London Eye. But just bear in mind, to reach the top of that building, there is no lift inside. To reach the top, you a replica to the Globe Theatre. Opened in 1997, and in the Globe they reenact Shakespeare's plays. That is the only building in London that has been allowed to be made from timber and thatch since the Great Fire of London back in 1666. They had to change an Act of Parliament. They had to change the law to rebuild the Globe Theatre. Now, if you was interested, now I think £5 to go and watch a live show in London Bridge. All the main approach roads are hidden in the back streets of London. So that's why it's very quiet. So it was built to relieve congestion from the old London Bridge. It failed to do so because nobody can find it. So if you see anybody up there, give them a wave. They're probably lost. There we go. They've been there for days. Look, he's gone crazy, that man. Look. There we go. He's lost or drunk. I'm not too sure. Now, speaking of getting drunk, there's a lovely pub just over to the right. The brick building with the red window frames. It's called the Anchor. Now, parts of that pub dates back 400 years, built in 1615, and it is said that the likes of Shakespeare cargo was brought into London, stored inside these warehouses. They've now been converted into a pirate ship. Have we all seen the film Pirates of the Caribbean? Yeah, that's got nothing to do with it. Sorry about that. No, it is a pirate ship. It's a working replica to Sir Francis Drake's Golden Hind, the Queen. Now, lots of people make the common mistake of confusing London Bridge with Tower Bridge. And Tower Bridge is the one ahead of us. What we'll do, very short feet high. At the top, there is an observation platform. Now, it's quite expensive. To go to the top, it will cost you, visiting London for a few nights. They've stopped off alongside the British warship, the HMS Belfast. The HMS Belfast was built in Belfast, Northern Ireland, built in the same shipyard as the Titanic, the Harland and Wolff shipyard. And the Belfast saw action throughout World War II and is permanently moored in London as a museum today. So laying alongside the Mossel, it's arrived in London 3 days ago. They're spending a few nights. The crew get off, they spend a bit of time in London. They resupply the ship with fuel, water, stock, stuff like that. And then I believe tomorrow they're going to make their way back out to sea. Now to the left, that's our destination. On the left, this is Tower Pier, our final stop. As promised, we're just going to run past the pier, and in a few moments we'll spin the boat around and you'll get a lovely view of Tower Bridge. Just before we spin, stay to the left and there's a nice view of the famous fortress, the Tower of London. And parts of the tower date back nearly 1,000 years to 1078 in the reign of William the Conqueror. The Tower of London has been lots of different things in its life, most famously known as a place of imprisonment, torture and execution. So there is lots of gruesome history behind the walls of that building. Now, if you haven't been inside the tower, then it should be on a list of things to do, and it now houses the crown jewels. As promised, what we're going to do is spin the boat around. As we turn, if you want to come to the right, a lovely side-on view of the bridge. Side up. These boats are very heavy. If there's a bump, you will fall over. As I've mentioned, I don't want to see anybody falling over, so it's not very nice. Everybody laughs at you, okay, so it's not nice to see. As we mentioned as well, this boat, we are now finished for the evening, and everybody will need to leave us here at the tower. If anybody is returning to Westminster, go to boarding point B. So boarding point letter B for Westminster is behind the Tower of London. Please make sure that you've got all of your personal belongings. Don't leave anything behind to ruin your day. Just double check you've got your bags, cameras. Very kind attention. I know on board today we have lots of people from overseas that may not have understood me too well. I really appreciate your patience, so thank you very much for listening. And if I may, just a very brief word.